Hello and welcome into SorareAndrews, brought to you by Sorare. I am Andrew Laird. You can find me as Lairdinho on Sorare. Joined, I think that's Andy Black. I think it is. Freshly shaven Andy Black. I think it's the first time I've ever seen this, and we've known each other for quite a bit. Andy, what the hell is going on?
Long story short, a guy that I work with was talking about how he went to the barber shop and got like the straight edge shave.
Yeah,
He was like, feels really good. I did not go to a barber shop, but I was like, you know what? It might feel good to just get a really good clean shave. So I did that earlier this week, and I was like, yeah, this feels kind of nice.
Wow.
So I don't know. I might go with it for a bit.
I believe Sean is a barbershop shave guy.
Yeah.
Or he just happens to shave every time he gets a haircut. But like, that's it. I'll have to ask him on a different show. But looking sharp, you look younger, actually. I think that's pretty much, yeah. If that's the point.
Then, good point. I got carded 3 times last night at the U.S. men's national team game.
Wow.
But the people that work there said that they card everyone. So
I wish they never said that, because it does like make people who have not been carded in a long time feel good. And they're like, don't worry, we do it to everyone. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah. I was like, don't say that.
Right. It's like someone giving you a compliment like, hey, you look really nice today. And you're like, thanks. They're like, don't worry, I say it to everyone. Anyway, that's right, Blue Tomatoes. Who's the guy on the right? That is Andy Black. Let's see. There were 2 things. We do have a topic today, and I am going to talk about it, but there are 2 things I want to bring up before we get to it. They're very important. One, I said it on yesterday's limited time only. I'm going to say it pretty much on every show. A survey went out from us, Sorare Data. Well, it didn't really go out. It's available for everybody to do. I guess we tweeted it out. And we're just looking for some feedback for specific users, mostly for our football product. Actually, all for our football product, except for Jimmer, who filled it out for baseball. But we are looking for feedback from people. So it is linked right on the Sorare Data homepage. It is also a pinned tweet if you are on Twitter. If everybody could just take less than 5 minutes, I promise it is less than 5 minutes to fill out that survey, it would be greatly appreciated. The other thing I was going to bring up, and I'm going to show everyone how to do this. I know not everyone is into playing the lineup projection game. And part of it is because you have to do so many projections in order to qualify for rewards. And we have changed it a little bit, but you still have to do a ton to win. However, we have a monthly raffle now for anyone who does at least 500 projections in a month and gets at least 80% of those 500 projections right. And if you're here and you're like, man, 500 sounds like a lot, it is a lot. However, it's also really easy. So if you just go SO5 lineup projections, right away, you'll be able to see how many you've done on this side here. So I've done 1,003, and I am 34/100% short of the 80%. But if you just went in here, there are 776 possible MLS lineups you could project for this week. You only have to do 500. And if you get 80% of those right, then you qualify for this raffle. And why not? Just do it. That's it. Anyway.
So that's just showing this month. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay. I was going to say mine's 0 projections.
Yeah. So you're 500 short right now. But I have faith in you that you can bang those out. And if you view the leaderboards, we have this new page now that shows like your previous months, and you can see where you rank in certain leagues. You can see that I am absolutely horrific at guessing lineups from Peru. So I've stopped. I just won't do it anymore. And so, yeah, check that out. Help out the community and get yourself potentially a prize. That's all. That's all I got for that. Those are the announcements. I really cannot get over the fact that you're clean shaven. It keeps throwing me off.
Just pretend I'm someone else.
What's funny is that I almost shaved before this, like this morning. And I was like,
we could have been twins.
Andy doesn't shave. I'm not going to do it. Thank you to everybody for coming. Andy Germ said he really loves the new Sorares. I forget how we decided we were actually going to say this. special edition cards that are nearly identical design to last year's cards that will help boost collection bonuses and nothing else. Nothing noting it's a special edition. They do say Sorares on them. Sorares, I don't know. But I agree. What gets me is that it doesn't say what they want. It's just like, hey, here's the Kirkchu one. And you're just like, oh, what did he win? You're like, oh, I don't know. But he won one. So I don't know.
That's a good point. I was scrolling through the market and I saw a couple guys and I was like, oh, I wonder what he was good for. Like, I wonder why he is so special.
I noticed that it was the Serie A one that Kvaratskhelia was the player of the year, but Oshiman was the U23 of the year. And it was like, I realized you probably didn't want one guy to win both, but both of those guys are under 23. And if one of them was the best player in the entire league, theoretically, he's the best player who is also under 23 in that league. But
I think the funny one for me was I was looking at, I think it was a Lazio bundle. And I was trying to figure out which card was the special edition. And it took me far too long to be able to figure out which one was special.
I actually have it right here, this Lazio bundle here. And I agree that you just look at it.
What's special here?
Well, he's got, the different background and it's a little sharper here.
Even like Providal and Milinkovic Savic have like different backgrounds, right?
There it is. There's the Sorares. Well, yeah. Do they all have the different background? Oh no, we have like the Ciro Immobile has like the leathery one. And Felipe Anderson has the kids scribbling one.
Yeah.
And I don't know how to describe this SMS one. But yeah, I think they're fine.
Yeah, they're fine. But it just looks like that looks like just one of their regular designs.
So what's funny is that it reminded me of the K-League and J-League cards, like the new ones. And when our friend Gator Guy shared that these cards were there, like on the market, I was like, oh, they messed up. Like they started printing European cards with the K-League background. And then I was like, oh, wait, no, they're not the K-League or J-League background. And then I was like, why are these cards different? And it was like, oh, it's the Sorares. I can't say that word once because I don't know how to say it.
Yeah, I won't try.
Yeah. But I don't know. I agree with Audrey here. They could have gone a little crazier with it. Yeah.
I wonder if it was easier to get the club's approval with just the base, like super, like basic design.
So like, I get it. But like, what is it from the club that they're like, we don't want something nice?
It's probably nothing. It's probably just a formality, but they probably have to rubber stamp it, and it's sitting in some guy's inbox that doesn't give a shit, and he's just like, it's the email sitting there, and all he has to do is say yes, this is okay. But I don't know if you ever dealt with somebody at work, and all you need is like a yes or no, and they won't reply to you.
But if that's the case, like if you think this is just going to get rubber stamped, nobody's going to look at it and they'll just rubber stamp it, wouldn't you kind of try to go a little wild with it? Like make something really cool that all of us are like, whoa, like we need to get these. I just feel like people are buying these for the collection bonus and not because they're like, that's a really cool card. And we were talking about like the Golden Boy cards are amazing. And like people who have those cards, like, well, when we had Halls of Fame, like displayed them and they were like, look how cool this card is. And now we're just like, hey, I have a Sorare card.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like if you like really redesign it, then they might be like, oh, well, what is so special? Like, why are these different? More questions might stir out of it. But if it's just like a new background, I feel like that'll just get, we'll force that through.
Yeah, I guess. Are you going to buy any?
I don't have any needs. I mean, we all need like another Kimmich or something, or Bruno Fernandes. But
what about a Matthias Zaccagni? Who won? I don't even know what he won for.
Yeah, I don't either, but
I would guess most underrated.
Yeah, or best defender or something. It needed a defender.
I don't think that was a choice. I'm not even kidding.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, it was player of the year or like card of the year, under 23 of the year, most consistent, most underrated, and there was a fifth one.
They should have just done like a fanboy one, like all the people that are just like huge fanboys of certain players, and get them all up there against each other. I don't know, I'm just trying to think of all the guys that everybody loves. Your Carlos Gills and whoever.
Yeah, we definitely need more Hans Van Aken cards. Oh yeah, breakout of this breakout card. This is so stupid and petty, but I have a problem calling it a breakout or a best card or best U23 card because it's not a singular card that was the breakout. It was a player.
Yeah.
Like you can say who was the best player, but like a card is like who had the best Kevin De Bruyne card. It was probably a Belgian one too. Anyway, Andy, you just said you have no needs, which means you are probably not rushing to do anything. But do you ever have that situation where you're like, oh, I think I'm going to stack this team or I'm going to get these few guys, and you just feel like you have to get it done immediately?
I don't have any needs because Liga MX is back, baby.
Let's go.
We're back. Yeah. Whenever I want to do something, I better get it done all at once right away, or I'll get sidetracked and I'll spend my ETH on something else. So my opinion is going to be a lot different from you here. I believe you do have to get everything done at once because an ETH balance disappears really fast.
I tell you. I think I was actually thinking that you had like an out on this being bad thing with your like 1 of 100 St. Louis collection because like you had to get those.
Right.
Like they were coming out and it was like, okay, I have to do this right now or else I'm not going to get them. Or at least I won't get them first. But I started buying cards for collection bonus recently. And it was really weird because I realized that no part of the collection game for me is about collecting cards for a team. It's about boosting specific cards. So like the thumbnail from this video was for 4 Minnesota United cards from like 2 years ago that I bought from Pavel to boost my Emmanuel Reynoso rare card. And it feels really stupid, but I'm like, the way that I was looking at it, I was like, I need to boost this card immediately because like I'm using the card now. Boosting the card in a year doesn't help me right now. So I like went through all this. I definitely overpaid because I got a Jan Gregus 1 of 100 as if that was some sort of card that anybody would ever want.
It's a collectible.
But I felt like I needed to do it like right away so that I could get that extra 1% this weekend as if it's going to matter. And yet I do that with everything. I realized that.
Here's why it matters. If you don't do that now, somebody else will.
So I'm glad you brought that up because I was going to say that too, that I get this thought in my head that if I start doing some sort of strategy and anyone who like looks at my gallery or like my transactions can figure out like what I'm trying to do. Thanks, blockchain. But nobody's trying this stupid shit that I'm trying. Like nobody's dumb enough to follow what I'm doing. I say that as if somebody actually told me recently, like asked me how I felt knowing people like follow the things that I do. I'm like, I hope people don't do this because like, I've never had a strategy that I felt actually was right.
I think the more important thing there is if Pal Trader looks at your gallery when you propose a trade and he sees that you have just bought 4 other Minnesota United players, he's going to be like, oh, this Lairdinho guy is going to be desperate for this 1 of 100 Jan Gregus, and I am not budging on my price.
So I'll be honest, I feel like I snuck that in on him So I also have this Midtjylland stack that I'm building, like collection I'm building, which I think there's a decent chance that we do a show in like 6 months just titled like the dumbest thing I ever did on Sorare, and I talk about this collection of Midtjylland cards that I have. So where was I going with that?
Do you own a Vander?
I don't have a Vander. But
I
I'm
was
going to need
curious
one.
if that was why. Like,
no, Evander had absolutely nothing to do with it. This was one of the most expensive, not thought out plans I've ever had. And so, but I'm in too deep now. So now I'm just like that gif of the guy just like pouring dirt on himself in the grave. Like that's me right now with this Midtjylland stack. So, so part of this Midtjylland stack, there's a guy on the team. I literally don't even remember what his name is, who has a Midtjylland card from this season, but now plays in Thailand. He is worthless, this card. I believe I'm going to have to like look up. Let me just see if I'm like hesitant to talk about it.
Oh, no, I'm looking at your gallery right now.
I didn't get the card. I didn't get the card. Pavel has the card, and whoever this guy was, he has the 1 of 100. And I think the last sale of this guy's rare was like 0.0002. And I was like, all right, I'll pay 0.01, like literally 10x. And I was like willing to do it. He countered back with 0.1, like 10x more than my 10x. And I was like, all right, well, like he knows that. I mean, we all know that one of 100s are valuable for collection. Like,
yeah.
So I don't even think Pavel looked at my gallery and saw these Midtjylland cards, but it was just like, oh, it's a 1 of 100. So I'm just going to jack up the price and see what happens. And so Mickey Fu here says, I'm predicting Midtjylland to be a top 2 team in Denmark this season. I think you've stumbled into a good strategy. So Mickey Fu ruined some of this strategy for me because Mickey Fu has gotten like a number of cards that I'm trying to get. So go away. Dion Cools, this is exactly what it was. Thank you to Asker Lujo. So Dion Cools, let's just pull this clown up because he's horrific. Andy, this is exactly the kind of card that like should not have any. Dion Cools. So he plays for Buriram United in the top division in Thailand.
At least it's the top division, right?
Top division. His last card sold 4 months ago for 0.034. I believe he was still on the team at the time. So like, actually maybe not, because Pavel has like 5 of them from 8 months ago. So he's been there a while. The only reason this guy has any value, for me at least, is that it was a 1 of 100, and Pavel was just having none of it. So with this Jan Grey Goose card, where is he? Oh, he's been on the platform. This is it right here. Yeah. I mean, what are we doing with this
Baruch card? My goodness.
Like, what are we doing? Anyway, so this trade that I made for the Jan Grey Goose card, I noticed I was trying to do like 5 different deals at once just in order to boost certain cards. So I wanted to boost all of my River Plate cards, and I needed 2 more River Plate cards to do it. 3 more. And then I was like, I'm going to boost my Reynoso. And so I proposed this trade of these cards I would never use plus 0.01, which is the price I wanted to pay for that Cools card, but it didn't happen. And the way that I put I made sure that when I submitted the offer that the Grey Goose card was the 4th one listed, so that two of the 4 guys in this trade here have red X's. Like, these are absolutely worthless cards. And he snap accepted. And I was like, oh, damn it. I way overpaid for that. But it got my Reynoso up to, I think, 2%. And yeah, look at this. See? And
I wonder, in 90 days, will you get the get another percent? No,
not even close. But, and I told you, I almost bought this Fred because I was like, oh, that would be funny. And I having it. $60 for Fred.
I might be able to sell you one.
I bet.
I can make a good price for him.
I've fallen for that already this week. Buying cards from Andy Black.
Hey, it'll all pay off this weekend. So
that's the plan. Percho said my deals with Pavel mostly end up with me getting pissed and saying, "Okay, F you then, keep it. I didn't want him anyway," which happens to me all the time. And then I just submit another offer later.
I think you have to be willing to walk away from him at some point. You can't just keep chucking more cards at him, because that is like a disastrous, dangerous game to play.
It absolutely is. And I was ready to keep going for Reynoso. Like, I was willing to be like, he's going to come back asking for like 0.05. And I'm like, do I really want to give it? And what other cards can I put in there?
Yeah.
And thankfully he accepted. But part of me was like, I need to get this done right now. Like, I don't think anybody was going into Pavel's gallery and being like, I wonder if he has the Jan Grey Goose 1 of 100 from the 2021 season. But I do know that there are people who go to his gallery and just sort by serial number 1. So then I was like, I got to get this done immediately, because if I didn't get that card, I would have had to buy like 4 other non-1-ofs in order to get the boost, because the 1-of was so much more important. And so I was like, I needed to do it immediately. The River Plate one, I was like, I need to do this immediately because I used them all this game week. So like, I have cards in this current game week that like got literally all 1% boosts going into the game week, and yet I don't think it mattered. I don't think it helped me at all.
Yeah, probably not. Just what, 1%?
About 1%,
yeah.
Maybe. But I have to get this thing out, like these Midtjylland cards.
So let's go back to that real quick.
Yeah.
What made you start this? And I guess question 2: do they play midweeks? Are they in Europa or something?
So I haven't really wanted to talk about this out loud. I did talk about it though on Quinny's anniversary stream. I think that's what it was. We didn't talk about it together, right, with him?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Like, you may have vaguely mentioned it, but we did not talk in depth.
Okay. So I think this story is going to make people stop watching Sorare Data content because of how stupid it is. Okay. And you're like, I can't believe I've listened or watched this guy for so long. So Mickey Fu saying, don't do it. I'm Mickey Fu, don't worry. I'm not selling this stack at all. So I decided that I wanted to have a Challenger Europe stack, some sort of stack, because I have like these assorted Challenger cards, but nothing ever really made sense. And they're from different leagues. And it just felt like a lot of times last year, like I would have a super rare and 2 rares from like the Turkish Super League when they had like a midweek, but I didn't have any others, or Jupiler was on, but Eredivisie was off. And I just didn't feel like I had enough of all of my best guys playing because they were all in different leagues. So I was like, maybe I'll try to get everybody in the same league or just one team. And so I know that, I know the Superliga starts early. Like they start up again in less than a month. It's like July 21st. The Superliga and the Croatian, whatever they actually call that league, start that weekend. And I already had a super rare from both those leagues. So I was like, oh, I just need some rares and I can play like a rare pearl lineup in that Challenger week when like there just aren't that, there's no Ajax, no Bruges, no whoever. So my long-term plan of like, I need to win this first game week that they come back. So then I look into it, and Midtjylland's the only team that is minted from the Superliga in Denmark. And the only other card I have from Denmark is a guy named Michael Dooland, who I have a rare, a super rare, and I had the limited, but when I got rid of my limiteds, he left. He was somebody that we talked about on Looking Up with Laird. I give Sam Ty credit for finding this guy, but basically he's Danish and was playing in the Netherlands, I think it was NEC, and then went back. Oh, no, I'm sorry. He plays for Dynamo Kiev, but with everything going on, they let him leave. And so he went back to Denmark and like is fine. Like I thought he'd go back and crush, and he's been fine. But like take set pieces. I think he took a penalty or he scored a free kick goal, whatever it was. So that's like what opened my eyes to the Superliga. And so I found Midtjylland and I looked at Jonas Lasso, who's their goalie. And I'm like, he's kind of cheap. And so I bought it. And then I was like, man, his super rares are kind of cheap. And there was one on the market and then it sold. And I was like, but it seemed cheap. And Pap had one, and Pap is willing to sell any card if you give him a fair offer. So I sent an offer last
Does he have that in his username?
BMON. B.M.O.N. Buy me out now. So I got this super rare. And I was like, well, I'm kind of in on Midtjylland now because I really should get like a defender if I have the goalie. So they have 2 center backs that score pretty well. I got the one that doesn't score that well and then bought the other one. And then this collection bonus shit got into my head and I was like, oh, I should just buy the whole team. And that's what I've been trying to do. Like they were really bad last year for a while, and then they crushed late in the season. And the reason they did that is because they were the top team in the relegation group because the league splits in half.
Okay, that makes sense. Yep.
So they crushed against all these garbage teams. And I was like, well, once they like get back to like the regular league, like it won't be as good. But a few people like DM me and we're like, hey, Midtjylland, I saw you've got a few, like they should be so much better next year. I don't know these people. They might not know. They might have Midtjylland cards too. And they're just like, no, they're going to be good. Don't worry. But that like got me like, okay, yeah, let's go. This is a good idea. Mm-hmm. And it's like, I just kept buying and buying and buying. And
the first place real quick that you've messed up on is you said it was a dumb idea and that you were doing this for other reasons. You need to say Midtjylland is going to be dominant this year. Like
I can't say that yet.
It hits a cross into the box and it goes in. He was definitely shooting.
No, I can't do it yet though. I still need to buy the cards, so I can't be like too open about this.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, like that's one of the things that not that I'm like hesitant to talk about what I'm doing. Because I think like other people will beat me to cards, even though it happened now. But it's too late now, yeah. But it always amazes me people like who do content, like Quinny does it all the time, and Nep does it, and Chani, and they're like, these are the cards I'm going after, and you're like, why are you telling everyone this? Now everyone else is going to go push the floor up. KB97 noticed that they have 42 cards in the collection, which is like, oh great, let me just buy 42 cards. Like, so
you don't need
the kicker with this, Andy, I still know nothing about this team. Like, I own all of these cards. My hard-earned money spent on these cards. A bunch of these guys are not on the team right now, but I couldn't tell you which ones. Not a clue. But I have all these other ones I need to get.
I like this guy, Mads. He's angry. He's big. He looks like he plays rugby.
Oh, this guy, yeah.
Yeah. He's plural mad.
Yeah. I don't know anything about him.
I love this.
Way overpaid for this Simsir card. He's a U23 forward. I've convinced myself that he's going to have a monopoly of set pieces this year because Gustav Isaacson is gone. And there are other people who are like, yeah, he definitely could. And I'm like, stop. Don't do that. Yeah, KB97, they have 4 goalies. One of them is U23, this Mark Ugbo, who I lost an auction on yesterday. And that's the other thing. 0 of these cards are first owner. So like,
dude, you know
this shit. Pontus Germ. What does Germ know about Midtjylland? Pontus Texel is a must. Rookie U19 captain and Danish youth captain. Like,
I love it.
Anyway, so
you know who is a must on this list? You have to buy a Vander.
So somebody asked me that. They have an Evander, and they're like, hey, noticed your midget. And I'm like, I don't want a Evander. He doesn't even play here. It doesn't help my challenger team. But
yeah, but you get the bonus in your MLS lineups.
I mean, he's by far the most expensive way to increase this.
I mean, you've already gone this far. You gotta, yeah.
So the other thing is, so this guy Christopher Olsen was on loan from Anderlecht last year. I wish I could find this. Hold on a second. Where did I? Hold on. This is just to show how absurd this whole process is going. So Christopher Olsen is on loan from Anderlecht, and he took most of their set pieces last year, meaning he took Midtjylland set pieces along with Gustav Isaacson, who's like a huge U23 forward. He's super expensive. And where am I going to find this article? So Olsen wants to stay at Anderlecht. Excuse me. He wants to stay at Midtjylland. And Midtjylland want him back. And obviously there's a situation where he needs Anderlecht to sell him. And so I was doing what we all do, and I just searched him in Google and Google News, and had to translate from some sort of Danish newspaper. And oh man, I feel like you're going to have to talk for a little bit while I find this article, because I need to find it.
I'm literally disappointed that you're not going to Paulino. Is that's not the same Paulino that
it's not.
Okay.
It's a different Paulinho. Well, there are 17 Paulinhos.
No, I actually owned that Paulino. So that was one of the ones that I was talking about, I guess.
A Midtjylland one?
Yeah. It was a limited card, and I sold him after I had an insane team going, and he played on a Monday night or something. And so it was the last card of the game week, and it was a capped 240 team or 220 team. And I was like, all right, if he gets a decisive, I would have won first place. He had a red card. And I was I sold him for pennies on the dollar. I was so upset with him.
That's a bummer. I hate that's it's so funny when you're like, oh, I just need, and they just oh, you're not getting that. You're also not getting anything.
Getting a red tonight.
So there's also this guy, I have to bring this up, Sorare Kaba. So I was talking to Harry Trades and Sam Ty about this whole Midtjylland thing. It was a looking up with Laird discussion that wasn't actually on looking up with Laird. So Sorare Kaba was on loan at Cardiff. I think it was Cardiff this season. And Harry knows someone at Cardiff or whatever it was. And maybe it wasn't somebody, maybe it was just somebody who watched Cardiff. But they described this guy as the worst footballer they'd ever seen. Mm-hmm. Straight up, he's the worst. And he's 0.05 for his rare. And I was like, even if it was 0.005, I'm not sure I could do it, just knowing that. But anyway, so I found this bit. It was from an article about how Christoph, whatever his name is, Olsen wants to go back. And they said, in the loan agreement, there is a purchase option of 30 million Danish kroner, which is equivalent to 46 million Swedish kroner. But Midtjylland will try to negotiate that down. And I read this, and I was like, I have absolutely no idea how much that is. Yeah. No clue. Mm-hmm. Oh, Harry's here. He said the Cardiff goalkeeper, first team coach, said that he was the worst one ever. So it was one of those things that I was like, I need to get this done immediately. But before I do that, I need to find out, A, how much 30 million Danish kroner are, B, how much 46 million Swedish kroner are, and C, if that is an amount that is too great that they won't come to a deal. And to this day, he's still not back. And if he doesn't go back,
how much is that? That's what I want to know.
It's $2 million. $2 million, I think. one way.
Surely there'll be somebody in chat that can correct you if you're wrong.
Right. What did I say? 30 million.
30 million
Danish kroner to USD. 4.3 million is what they want. But they actually want 40 million. So 4 million. Oh, it's like $1 million difference. I did mean krona. So that's what I've been doing on Sorare lately.
I've seen dumber things.
You're right. Oh, KB said 4 million euros. I guess I could have just used the chat. Yeah, which is about $3.6 million, I think. So when somebody was like, how do you feel? Oh, yes. Harry said he scores goals. There you go. KB 97. Dumb is fun. So when somebody messaged me the other day and was like, how do you feel about people like following your stuff? I was like, oh God, like if you knew what I was doing today, you really shouldn't be doing this. But, so I kept thinking like, I need to get all of these, cards in. Like I need the Midtjylland stack. And let me see, let me pull it up here. So like my collection, this is what the problem that I'm having is that my collection will be at 3% when all of these guys get to 90 days. But that's way after the season starts. And so if I wanted them at 3% when the season starts, I have to buy 9 more cards.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I want to buy these cards immediately, and this again comes in the stupidity realm, but also maybe I'm sharp. They start the season, Midtjylland does, at home against like 2 of the worst teams in the league. And
how do you know they're the worst teams in the league?
I think I just looked up the table. Like I think, in fact, one of these might even been a promoted team. And so the way that I have been thinking about this is like, it reminds me when everyone like uses the concept builder and they're like, well, I would have won this, they all smashed in this game week. So like, I should buy that. And I like remind people that, and I have this conversation with my son actually, whenever we do like baseball lineups, because he's like, oh yeah, so-and-so had like 2 home runs this week. And I was like, but we don't get those points for next week. Like we have to figure out what happens next week. And so when you use the concept builder and you're like, oh yeah, this guy smashed against this team. And it's like, but that already happened. You're not getting that. And so a lot of times people will look at like huge performances and it's like, they don't play that team again this season in that situation. Like if they play the worst team in the league at home, they're not going to do that again until next season. But the season hasn't started yet. So they do have this game coming up. And so I'm like, I need to get an extra 1% on all these cards. And instead of just waiting the 90 days, and it just feels like I need to get that 1% right now.
Yeah. Speaking to, you don't have to do everything at once. I bought multiple cards for this game week.
To play this game week or to help other cards in this game week? Like,
great question. No, just to play this game week.
Okay.
Jamaica played Trinidad and Tobago last night, and then they play St. Kitts this weekend. So I felt like that was a good spot, right? And I was at the game last night, and Andre Blake conceded some stupid goal in like the 50th minute, and they were completely dominating the game, had all the possession, they never had a chance the entire game, and then just all of a sudden, ball falls the right way, and they get a stupid goal, and it crushed my soul because all the guys were smashing. Bailey was smashing, Antonio was smashing, Damian Lowe was absolutely balling out, and Blake, I don't think made a save the entire game. He probably lost a few possessions. He would have ended up with a flat 60 and ended up with like a 32 or something. Yeah, Bailey missing 2 sucked, but he did get 2 decisive actions, so that was nice.
So I bought 2 cards on Monday. Maybe one from Pavel. No, I had a counter offer from Pavel and was able to get one from someone else for like slightly cheaper. And I was there like, eat it, Pavel, as if he gives a shit. But anyway, so I had that Minnesota United, I'll call it a bundle from Pavel. 4 players. I traded, I don't even remember. I had it up on the screen earlier.
Where does Greg Goose even play anymore? It's like
Nashville.
Oh, okay.
Nashville. Like he will have a monopoly of set pieces when everyone else is out. But like literally all 11 starters, including Joe Willis, has to be out for him. But it's there. I actually almost bought a Jan Gregus super rare at the beginning of last season when he was like, do you remember that? He was like, one of the best players in Major League Soccer last year.
I think I bought him, experienced the hype a little bit, and then sold him before he died.
Smart.
Yeah.
Very smart.
Very sharp.
He was with San Jose, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know why he stopped playing, but like this was the beginning of the season.
Montero started taking his sets, and then I think
he just stopped playing.
What's that?
Like Gregus just stopped playing.
Yeah, well, it was like they had like just too many midfielders. I think like they had Jackson Ewell, Montero, Espinoza. They were just like flooded with mids.
Yeah,
and he was the odd man out.
I'm pretty sure I had like a 0.7 offer on his super rare rejected. And I was just like, do I go higher? And I just like didn't have it. And it was like right before he got benched. And
Thank God.
Like, sometimes you get really lucky. So where was I going with that? The Minnesota. Oh, so I bought, I'll just go back to it. So I got these four Minnesota guys, and Metnier and Hayes are not, they're red X's. They play in USL, or one of them does. I don't know where the other one is. And Brent Coleman is just like,
Ja'Cory Hayes as well.
You have a Ja'Cory Hayes?
Mm-hmm. Man, you could have got him from me.
I could have, yeah. And Coleman,
are those 2020s or 2021s?
2021.
Okay, mine are 2020s.
Oh, okay. So yeah, so you wouldn't help at all. Mm-hmm. Sorry, let me see if I can. I'll make it a little bigger. There we go. So, so 2 of those guys don't play, and for some reason in my head, I was adamant about not getting those types of players for my River Plate stack or my River Plate collection. And there are plenty of guys on the team who are not playing anymore. But I was like, I want to buy guys who play just so I can use them. And the first one I got was Enzo Perez, who I should have had his rare long ago anyway. I've had his super rare for a long time. And I was like, I mean, they have, where did he go? This guy, Jorge Morera, has a floor of $9. No way he sells for that. Javier Pinola, $10. He's not going to sell. Like, they will be much less than that. Where's the one that this guy Ponzio is probably, he's older than me. And I have no idea if he plays, but I was just like, I'm not buying those guys.
You see that guy down there at the bottom, Agustin Fontana?
Yes.
Come to me if you want to get one, $20. That's it, $20.
Does he even play?
I paid $100 for him.
Ooh. Does he play?
No, he's a Red X.
Oh, he's a Red X.
Yeah.
Because he plays for, he literally does not play. Like he's got the broken JPEG club.
Yeah.
Anyway, so despite doing the exact opposite with my Minnesota United guys, I was like, I need to buy guys who play. And Robert Rojas is one of these guys who has been playing, but only because he's been playing instead of Paulo Diaz, who I also have. Of course, the 2 of them played together last night. I don't play them together. Mm-hmm. And I would have been like top 10 in All-Star Rare. So this lineup, I have 36 points from Kevin McAllister, who had a own goal or error led to goal. But I have Rojas right here with 65 in the academy.
Don't you have their goalkeeper?
I have Armani in Rare Pro here with my Paulo Diaz Super.
Oh, okay. Okay. So you have like 3 River Plate stacks, basically.
Well, I have a bunch of River Plate cards it's like not, I mean, I guess this is probably the stack.
They're little mini stacks. Sure.
Yeah. But I have like a Paolo rare. I now have an Enzo Perez rare, which I played right here. Yeah.
You're going to have like all these River Plate stacks and a bunch of Midgetland stacks here in a couple weeks.
So let me go back to the Midgetland thing, because I didn't actually. So Pablo is saying Rojas will be playing for LGP because he's hurt, which is true. But Mamana is also back, and so that probably, so it's kind of, I don't know, could be anybody. And they just signed someone else. Like River Plate is really doing a good job of like just screwing all of us. But anyway, so the Midgetland thing started because I was like, I want a challenger stack, and I have a few challenger cards, like I said, but like I have a Tadic, which I paid like so much for at the time, but like getting a Ajax stack is expensive, and I didn't want to spend that much. And then I have a Mats Kollert super rare. He is a forward who plays left back. He plays for Herenveen. And I was like, all right, I really like Pavel Bolshnowitz, if that's how you say his name. I had his limited for a long time. Actually, I had two of them. And his super rare was like kind of okayly priced. So I was like, oh, if I get him, but then Noppert is their goalie, and like Noppert's kind of expensive because he got expensive when he started the World Cup, and then there was like the Ajax stuff. He didn't go to Ajax, but he's still, so Herenveen didn't work. And I have a Fernando Muslera rare card, and I was like, oh, I could stack Galatasaray. But like that didn't, so like all of these, there were just negatives for everything. And then I like came upon this Midgetland stack or idea, and here I am. But I found myself now getting closer to just stacking teams instead of trying to like piecemeal. Like I have all the, like you just saw those River Plate guys. I now have a full Atlas stack that I will be winning Champion America Rare Pro with this weekend. And it just seemed like, I don't know, it just seems like that's what I should be doing.
When are you going to make the Manchester United stack?
So like that's another really expensive one. I can't. Like I can't.
I mean, you can. You totally can.
I'm not going to do it.
What are the expensive pieces of that stack?
I mean, I assume I have the most expensive one, but that doesn't mean that they're cheap.
And they probably don't have a goalie on the platform anymore, because isn't De Gea going to go?
Yeah, but I have to buy him for the collection bonus.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to. Is that part of the deal? Like you're going to stack teams and then stack the collection bonus on top?
So it feels dumb not to do it, at least to a certain degree, like 2%, I guess. I was having Pablo points this out. Funes Mori is going to go over. I think Paulo Diaz, they've been talking about him leaving for a long time, but I talked to Nep about this, not on any stream or anything, but I was like, because he's really into stacks and collection bonuses and stuff. And he kind of made this point, or I asked him, I was like, what do you think about stacking without collecting? Like 5 guys and just running those guys. And he was like, I think it's fine, but because of collection bonus now, and this is something that I thought of, I had not thought of deeply enough, but because of the collection bonuses and the number of people who are basically boosting cards because of the collection bonus, we're going to see a lot more cards that literally have like 10% or more bonuses. And if you don't play the collection part of it, you just won't get there. Like it takes a long time for cards to get to 10%. Even with the 5% like current season bonus, you have to get your cards fairly early in the season to hit that. Like my Bruno card will never get to 10% before he loses the 5%.
Yeah.
And so there's it just feels like you're putting yourself at a disadvantage. Like you're making your stack weaker by not collecting the other cards. And that's why I can't do it with Bruno, because like De Gea is expensive,
Yeah.
and all like the defenders that I would want, like if it's Shaw or Delo or
With that said, I love Surface's question.
An interesting discussion should really examine what Laird should do with Bruno. Like, where does Laird think he's going to play Bruno? I'm going to play Bruno in All-Star Rare Pro on his own.
With
One card.
like Tadic and Messi and
well, Messi's gone. Like presumably, like once. Like I'm looking at it more from a European season schedule. Like Messi
from August to October.
Yeah,
like 3 months.
Yes,
you can use them.
Yeah, so the problem is that then I'm playing a super rare goalie in All-Star Rare Pro. Like if I do a super rare goalie, super rare defender, and then I can play Bruno, Messi, and Tadic.
Which for your gallery, that's probably not ideal because you need to prioritize that super rare goalie in cap 240.
Yeah, or All-Star. Like I would just prefer to do it. And so that's the problem. So ultimately, even if I think of it in terms of not using Messi, then I can do goalie, super rare defender, super rare mid, most likely.
What does Argentina's schedule look like? Will Bruno and will they line up at all? Like, can you run Armani and Paulo Diaz, Bruno?
Diaz, unfortunately, is the one that's probably like he's not reliable enough. So I had like a Don Coates. Coates is going to Saudi Arabia most likely, but I might be able to get a Midtjylland super rare defender. And so do I play super like those two? Like that's a stupid. Let me just pull it up because it's got to be one of the stupidest looking lineups anyone will ever see.
The real shame is that you don't get the collection bonus on the SRs.
So I'm glad you brought that up. I think they're going to change that. I have no reason to think they're actually thinking of this, like honestly, but I think the collection bonus on super rares it's unachievable to any realistic degree. And so it just feels like you're not playing the collection game with super rares. It's just, it doesn't
Some
work.
people are.
But like, why are you designing a collection game that is available and like honestly is available to like 50 people? Is it even that many?
Probably not, because a good portion of those 50 people just don't care to do it.
Let's give away my terrible idea here. I feel so.
So this is going to be your rare pro team right here.
Maybe. This is excellent listening for everybody.
It's fun. Oh, so I thought you weren't going to run the super rare goalkeeper in this.
Well, I wasn't, but I don't really have an option. I mean, not that I don't have an option, but even if I took out those guys, like I can still have my Hail Mary that Coates stays, right?
Mm-hmm. Who would be the other outfield SR?
So while we're on the topic of Hail Marys, I need Alexandru Maxim to go back to what he was. Where is he?
Is there a world that you sell
that
Bruno Fernandes and buy a super rare?
Say it again?
Is there a world that you sell Bruno Fernandes and buy a SR? Because it seems like Coates leaving is going to hamstring you a little bit.
Surely. I think it's the easiest example of a card I should sell.
Yeah.
But fuck that.
Fair enough.
I absolutely. So I absolutely should sell the card because it'll help me in other places.
Mm-hmm.
But I also am likely not getting, like, I don't see myself getting another even rare card that's as good as him.
Yeah.
Like, there are not many midfielders on the platform better than Bruno.
Well, you just buy another Zellerine and then.
Yeah. So, like, on this list, which is like fun for me, like Zellerion's first, I have his rare.
You get Marvin. He's only $600.
Yeah.
Sell Bruno, buy Marvin, or Alvarado.
Well, I don't want
Buy
Alvarado.
both.
Season doesn't overlap. Like, I'm thinking this more as a European thing.
So yeah, but Ecuador season does, like, they go on break in July, and then a little bit of August maybe, and then they run through closer to like MX.
Yeah, then I have to figure out what Ecuador does. Like, I guess I could ask you, since you are very interested in that.
I just ask questions in other Discords.
That's fair. Yeah. So, like, honestly, I don't think it makes sense for me to keep the card. Like in true optimal strategy, I absolutely should sell that card.
Yeah.
But there's too much of an interest, like my own interest in trying to build around that card instead of getting rid of it because I want it. Okay. Like, I would have never bought a Bruno. Like, no way. In fact, I would have.
Do you now believe that he's going to be the best mid on the platform?
I think he has a great chance to be the best mid on the platform, but I also am fairly certain that if I didn't win him and he like went crazy, that I was definitely going to do content in the future of like, here are guys you can buy instead of Bruno. Like, don't spend up on Bruno, get these other guys. And now I have them, and I'm like, well, sorry, there were a bunch of like really good comments I wanted to bring up. Holy shit. Scosmo said, I had dismissed collection until now as 1 to 2% on 55 points is nothing much, but 2 to 3% on your entire 300 to 350 base score is an extra 10 points, which makes a big difference in the middle of the rewards field, which is absolutely true. Moldy said Nep was applying some boosts to his Cecilia over the stream earlier. Have you done this with your coins? I have not. Have you boosted any cards?
I had a couple like 19s that I just made go to 20. I think one of them was Messi, actually. Maybe not Messi, but whatever.
I have decided to die on the hill that my cards are going to be pure XP earned cards.
I think that that's a really stupid take, because
is it dumber than the midline?
People to look at your card and be like, "Oh, he's a virgin." Nobody cares, but that 1% could help you.
It might. Yeah. The problem that I have with a lot of them is that like the ones that I have on level 19 are like close enough where it's almost like a waste of the coins to boost them, and the ones that are short are just like, they're so short that it didn't seem worth it. Sorry, Germ says Super Rare Collection should get points for lower scarcity. Collect all limited defenders, and you get 20 points for your SR collection. I think just the opposite. I think that the Super Rare should help your lower scarcity cards, not the other way around.
Or maybe both, right?
Yeah, that's fair. I wonder if I can pull this. Oh yeah, I can. Like, I have 5 Orlando City cards, and they're all different collections. Actually, I take that back. Mueller and Gallese are the same, but he doesn't even play for the team anymore. Like, I think that's just kind of dumb that like the Janssen doesn't help anything. Scosmo said rare, super rare, and unique could merge into one annual collection with super rares and uniques having an additional 10 to 20 collection score. Counter it if you complete a collection of one scarcity, you get a bonus too. Yeah, I guess.
All good.
He also thinks I could run one super rare in this line. I lost it already, but that's insane. I would never do that. Surfer said Midgetland's off for a big break from December to February, which it's not that long. It'll feel like an absolute eternity, but yeah, they don't even play that many games. That's the best part. Oh, I forgot that literally the one thing that made me feel smart about Midgetland, which is as soon as it's going to come out, it's definitely not going to be smart. So Midgetland is in the playoffs for Europa Conference League. So they have a shot at midweeks. I have no idea if the early round playoffs are covered, but if all Midgetland Conference League games are covered, they will start the season and play 13 game weeks in a row. Wow. Like, not 13 weekends, 13 game weeks in a row. And I'm just going to clean up, Andy.
Yeah. Well, Bouncy's raining on your parade right now. He's saying that they're not covered.
He just said they aren't. Who knows what he's referring to? At some point, they will be covered. Even if it's not 13 in a row, it's going to be like 7 in a row. Now, granted, this is a team. Well, actually, I was going to say they're not that deep. They have 48 players on the team, so maybe they are deep. But we'll see. Eskerlujo says all their games should be covered, which I actually don't think is true. The qualifiers aren't covered. I remember last year that some of them are covered, which is really stupid.
Yeah. There was a year, and I don't even remember when it was anymore, but like they were covering some of them and not covering other ones, and you never knew which ones were, like, they would show up in the in the lineup builder, and you'd be like, oh, I guess they're covering that game this game week.
Yes. Well, I think they don't really know until, well, they have to wait for the draw to find out where the stadium is. And then, oh, does the stadium have the cameras? Yes. Then we cover it. No, we don't.
Oh, it's like that.
It's like, that is exactly what it's like. Yes. Let's see. Moldy, I like this. Organic XP. That's what my team has. Organic XP. Germ says 0-3 power-ups used are power-up virgins.
Yeah.
Anyway, David said Coates runs the risk of not starting next season. He runs the risk of starting the season in Saudi Arabia. That's the risk, actually. Anyway. But yes, Surface, the break is long. I get it. It's why. So the other thing is, like, it just feels like these, well, at least when I started, the Midgetland cards were so much cheaper than like similar situations in other leagues.
When's the break?
It's like beginning of December to February.
Oh, okay. I was trying to think, when did MX start up? It was like beginning of February, or was it January?
I think it was. They were in January. Yeah, it was super early.
So it's not like you'll have those to cover that break.
I mean, Andy, if there's anything that anyone knows about me, thinking 7 months ahead is not something I do on this game.
You are right now.
No, I'm only thinking until the next, well, July 21st, and then the 13 game weeks after that.
Maybe 13 game weeks.
Maybe. That's right. That's
possible.
Right. So the other thing is, I was like, oh, it's 13 game weeks in a row. Obviously, they could lose. Like, if they lose and then they don't even make the conference league.
Yeah.
To this day, I still don't know why they are even in the conference. Like, they were literally in the relegation playoff.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
No. I'm guessing
maybe the winner of the, did they win the relegation division?
They did, but like, why would the 6th place team in Denmark?
I don't know.
Maybe I thought maybe they won the domestic cup, but they didn't. Anyway, Ollie Grant said, thoughts on buying players who have transferred to covered but not licensed league so they keep their 5% bonus. I think it's fine.
I think they could remove that rule at some point.
Like not waiting the full year, or like losing the 5% current season bonus.
Like some of the Zenit cards, like on 2 years.
Zenit, Minero, River Plate will have them now. Argentinos will have it.
But it was like multiple years of having
It did
that
seem like
bonus
the Zenit ones had 38% rares for the
forever. Yeah.
Oh, Bouncy said the mid-table playoffs get a shot at Conference League. See, this is stuff that like I probably should have looked up before I bought 25 mid-table.
I did a similar strategy, not this past year, but the year before with Lask, because they were in the relegation playoffs, but they were clearly the best team. Like they were just missed whatever the top end. And it was the dumbest thing I ever did on the platform because they decided that, oh, we're not going to get relegated because they were better than all those teams.
Yeah.
So they just rotated like crazy.
I remember that.
So I had this like genius strategy. I had all the best players on Lask. I had the perfect stack. And I don't think there was one game in the last 10 that they played where all 5 of my guys.
Where you had all of them, yeah.
It was so infuriating. I sold them all just out of complete anger.
So that I did something similar last summer with Rapid Vienna, that they were in the Conference League playoff and they were like heavily favored.
Yeah.
So I bought Nicholas Hadel, who's like a U23 goalie. They had a U23 defender, and I'm like, I'm getting one over the community on this one. Yeah, eliminated in the first round. Didn't even get to a Conference League. Yeah, it's bad. I got nothing else.
Ali said that tactic worked with Whack this year. 6 of their last 10 were clean sheets.
Is that where Baumgartner plays?
What's that?
Is that where Baumgartner plays? It is. Dominic Baumgartner. Yeah, he was a beast at the end. Oh, look at that score graph. You should have bought that guy.
I should have. There's a lot of things I should have done.
Somebody asked me earlier, Mickey Fu said, Bruges, Twente, and Besiktas stacks are going to feast in the Conference League this season. I think Bruges has to go through the qualifiers too, though. They're not. I don't think they're automatically in, are they? I thought I saw them in the.
There must be some soft games. They probably have some soft games though against bad teams.
Yeah, probably against Midtjylland. To be honest, it was one of these things that I just felt like I had to try it out and see what happens. And
you're going to look like a genius when this is all said and done. So congratulations.
I hope so. Somebody said if they don't win their first 2 games, am I going to just rage trade everything to Pavel? No,
you're committed.
Yeah, no, I do this thing on Sorare where I just go down with the ship. And so
that's why you still have all 3 Coates right now.
That's right.
Down with the ship.
I mean, I still own my job,
island, baby.
Yeah, exactly. Kiwi's looking worse than Walmart after Black Friday. That's 20, not me. Oh, that's nice. Mickey Fu said they play Doolin in AGF. See, Bruges is going out, unless that's Twente. I don't know. Mickey Fu, I got to catch up with you. You seem to know exactly the answers to everything that I'm looking for. Thank you to everybody for joining us. If you haven't liked the video, please do so. Subscribe to the channel as well. I'll be back tomorrow on Off Topic. I was probably going to talk about this on Off Topic, how dumb I am. And so now who knows what we'll talk about tomorrow. And then back next week is going to be a little different because I'm not working Tuesday because, Independence Day here. So we'll see.
Question on that. Are you a fireworks guy?
Love them. Absolutely love them. My wife hates them.
Do you buy them?
No.
You just go and watch them.
Yeah.
So your son doesn't like to shoot off fireworks?
He's never been given the opportunity. I've seen way too many videos of people exploding fireworks like into their face, and I'm like, I'm just going to let professionals do that.
All the fireworks now they sell are like, they have like, I don't know, governors on them or something. They don't blow up big. It's like little wimpy fireworks.
Well, yeah, I don't want to see those either. I'm a big firework guy. I want a professional to shoot these things off, and yeah, it's great. Where I live, they did like a beginning of summer festival last weekend. They did all these big fireworks. It was great. I love it. Absolutely love it.
Do you have pets?
No.
Yeah.
Another reason why I love fireworks.
There's this thing, I don't know if it's just a Midwest thing, but the fireworks stands, they open in like middle of June.
Okay.
People just start buying fireworks in June and then shooting them off at night, and then your dog is like curled up in the corner, sad. And
yeah. I don't have a dog, but I sympathize with that, with people who have dogs, because this time of year everybody's just shooting them off, and I'm like, it's June 24th at 7 o'clock on a Tuesday. What are we doing? What are we doing? Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
We shouldn't laugh, but I did. Go Jets. All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. I'll see you tomorrow. And Andy and I will be back next week.